Okay, and I'm back. And I believe as we left off last time, we were upgrading our weapons with the neat little ultralight materials bonus. And an interesting thing about this is that as you go along, they actually get better versions of those weapons and upgrades available. And you can update pretty much any weapon or piece of equipment you have, and you can even increase the level of the weapons you've got and use those. Ooh, mail slot. A neat little bonus achievement there if you're good with a sniper rifle. You can put the round straight through that little slot 10 times, you get a bonus achievement. Ooh, and he's toast. So anyway, now that we've got an upgraded weapon, we're rolling around, grabbing info. I should bring this up because it's something you may notice. I sometimes do inordinate dodge rolls, and that's more to do with the fact that there's too many items mapped to a single button. And as a side effect, you sometimes wind up doing a roll when you don't mean to. Now, let's try these grenades. Surprise! I love that. The grenades go right in their face and boom! They don't even see it coming. Now, as you'll notice, this is actually quite a bit of enemy forces, and they're using multiple types of tactics here. Anything from smoke screens, cover, flanking maneuvers, dodge rolls and assault stances, shields in some cases. It's not to say that they're, the most intelligent enemies I've ever seen, but they act fairly intelligently on their own merits and can often be very, very easily, underestimated. More than once I thought I'd taken a group of enemies out only to see that several of them were moving around to try and flank me. Well, a lot of good that sniper rifle's doing me with the smoke. And give me a target. There's a good example. As soon as one smoke broke up, they actually deployed a second one. And close the distance on them. Here's a cool one where you've got these guys coming at you with the shields. Ooh, his head's gone. And they will actually use a variety of different tactics to try and beat you. Now, admittedly, I do like the sniper rifle in this game, but I don't use it much simply because as the characters develop and you begin to find the specific niche with which they fill, you can actually use their own tactics much better. Freaking dude does not know when to die. You will come to hate these shield dudes in time because they become an absolute pain in the rear. Now, an interesting thing is that you can revive fallen comrades by running over and standing over them and hitting the A button for a short time. This allows them to get back up without having to use Metagel. Or you can revive them at any time using just Metagel itself. Here's our first in-game puzzle. You got these two sterilization fields or something going back and forth, and you have to stop them at precisely the right time to exit the area. And there's another upgrade, shotgun high caliber barrel.
What did they find?
And
I could describe in a short conversation, and they'd only scratched the surface.
it looks like there's plenty of interesting dialogue to go on, and depending upon what characters you have, like in other Mass Effect games, who you have with you at any given time actually will directly affect what dialogue is spoken And if you have certain groups together, they'll make some really hilarious or poignant comments. It was very interesting stuff. At the same time, it's always good to try different combinations for gameplay reasons, but it is quite amusing to... like I said, it's quite amusing to just hear the different conversations that come up when you're out and about. Now you'll notice that I was having a little bit of trouble getting the point of this. It was actually because I wanted that other item there and I was having trouble getting the alignment right. And I think this is where I began to realize, yep, there it is, stop. And I didn't figure it out right away. I was just watching the movement of these items, and I think on the next pass is where I realized where it lines up. Nope, not there yet. But I think this is where I get it. Yeah, there we go. My spatial awareness was not as good as it should have been. Anyway, on to the next section.
Right to the archive. No doubt Cerberus has it locked down. Hopefully we can override it in this. It's just through here.
Great. So let's see if she can get that to work. Ooh, katana. Shotgun. Now here's an interesting thing. If you were playing Vanguard, your primary weapon would be shotgun and pistol. But notice that when I add the weapon here, it overwhelms me and I can't carry that much without lowering my ability to use my powers. So it's a trade-off, as I said earlier. You either choose to use the high caliber weapons, or you use your powers.
It's the only way I know of.
We'll skirt around it. Stay out of its sights.
I'll move up first.
Yeah, you make a great moving target, Ash.
You.
Oh, yep, no, that's not gonna work.
Get me out of here.
Yeah, this is pretty straight up just dodge, run, dodge, run, dodge, run. Eventually you get to a point where you can skirt around it. Interesting that the cover mechanic in this is actually programmed to go from an area to an area like a target zone. So it's not designed to use manual cover the same way you would, you know, in the previous games. See, this is me trying to snipe a dude and I fail to realize that he's behind solid bulletproof glass or something. So what I do is I start...
Keep your head down.
I start making these little quick runs from point to point and letting my shield recharge.
Keep your head down.
These Cerberus guys must be lazy because they're just letting the turret do all the work.
Stay in cover, Shepard.
Yes, thank you for reminding me of the obvious.
The turret can't fire on us from here.
Good. And pop out, and that's why I'm still holding the sniper rifle. I'm gonna snipe someone at 2 feet. And off they go. Oh, right up the rear. I love that he's charging me and I just whack him down with a biotic shockwave like he's a dog and it's a rolled up newspaper. And grenades. Yeah, the grenades are really cool in this game. And once you learn how to make proper use of it, those groups that do have grenades, particularly, I believe the soldier has like inferno grenades. Those are awesome. No, you can't stop me. But then after everything I went through the last game, you guys should know this. I always find enemy chatter hilarious. It's like, we can't stop him. Really? I blew up a Reaper. You think you're gonna stop me? Silly. Then again, if these guys weren't dumb as rocks, I'm pretty sure they'd not be working for Cerberus. They're just shock troops after all.
Set up a perimeter. No one else comes across.
We still have teams on the other side.
No one. And shut down those cameras.
Aw, she's camera
Looks like
side.
they've made it to the archives.
Too
And it
bad.
looks like they won't be sitting a tram anytime soon.
See if she's gun shy
Can you
later.
override it?
The archives are on a separate network. We're completely locked out.
Not completely. What if we could find a short-range transmitter, helmet to helmet,
And?
and then we convince them that we're with them, and the Alliance forces have been taken care of?
Good idea. See what you can find.
And
What?
here's another
Lieutenant Commander
quiet
has
drama
become
scene.
Very capable.
Agreed.
Commander, I found something.
Now, this is one of the
What
things
you
that
got?
they advertised a lot in the game, was the tension between you
He's got a
and
transmitter
your
in his
previous
helmet.
love interest.
If I can...
And they actually did pretty good on it. Ooh,
Oh god.
he's not looking so
He
good.
looks like a husk.
Apparently joined Cerberus, become a ghoul.
Definitely done something to him.
It doesn't surprise me,
Engineered
really.
By Cerberus? They claim to stand for humanity, and they do this to their own people.
I ain't saying I agreed with him.
That could have been you, Shepard. For all I knew, that's what Cerberus had done to you.
How can you compare me to that thing?
I don't know what you are. Not since they got their hands on you.
Yeah, well,
Is it really you? Would you even know if they were controlling you somehow?
That's not fair, Ash.
no, but
I'm just talking out loud.
is
I don't
somewhat
need you to
justified.
answer. I doubt there's anything you could say to convince me. I guess I just need some time to get to know you again.
I'm the same person I always was. Time won't change that. But if that's what you need, I understand.
Yeah, and no doubt all you
Thanks
Renegade players are
for
noticing them
understanding.
playing primarily
You bet.
Paragon here.
Let's see if we can get that tram sent over here.
Never was, like I said, never was much in the Paragon
Hello,
thing.
This is Delta Team. Anybody there?
Where the hell have you been? Never mind. What's your status?
We're at the tram station, waiting for extraction. All hostiles terminated.
Roger that. Echo team will ride over and secure the station.
Think they bought it?
They're so
They
gullible.
didn't, they'll figure it out soon enough.
Yeah, I
We
figured
should
they'd
get in
know better, but
position.
then
Flank them
again,
when they get off the tram.
as I
You'd
said,
think it,
not
Elsie.
the brightest knives in the drawer, are we? Now this is where the game tries to do the whole team command thing, and in reality you can usually just let your characters go off and do whatever the heck they want, and they'll usually be able to function fairly well.
Got it.
It is good that if you're facing a large group of enemies, you put them into cover so they don't get, wiped out immediately, but normally they can hold their own pretty well.
Right away. Understood.
Alright. And there goes my warp singularity thing going on there. Grenades! He took a whole half a clip in the shoulder. That's pretty impressive that he's still breathing. Not anymore.
Understood.
When you hit him with the warp, that usually is more than enough to wipe them out fairly quickly. The warp, if it doesn't kill them outright, it'll usually drain their shields within a matter of moments. Ooh! That round punched straight through his ribs. And I don't have a good line of sight on these guys. Come on. Give me a headshot. Give me the headshot. And he's pulling back to avoid me. Like I said, they are pretty smart. Up the rear. I was surprised that that wasn't a bonus achievement either. Rear entry. Would be somewhat fitting given some of the game's previous innuendo and other rather lowbrow humor. Ah, missed the mail slot.
Right away.
Oh, he's done.
As you wish.
When it comes to using powers, your teammates are actually pretty good about it. They're usually pretty smart to pull powers out when appropriate, but you can manually command them to use powers just like in the last game. It's notable that in this game you can actually use the Connect to use powers via voice command or switch weapons and other functions. I still prefer to use the old controller, but it's nice that you can use the Connect if you want to. A cheap shot, but precisely in keeping with proper tactics. Level 33 is silly that I'm like in the second mission and I'm level 33. Now, this is probably... oh yeah, we're getting there. This is actually one of the longer missions. Right up there with one of the big fleet action movements later on in the story. It's a good hour, 2 hours just by itself, and that's not even including like the story stuff that goes on around it. Now, admittedly when I look at this, I find it funny that the usual expectation would be that, you know, at least the way BioWare had set up is that a female Shepard would have preserved Kaidan and left Ashley to die, and that it would be reversed for the male Shepard. And it's funny because I actually didn't think about it in that way, because in both cases I was actually going after Dr. T'Soni. So in the case of this Shepard, I chose Ashley over Kaidan, but with my other male character, I wound up I chose Kaidan over Ashley simply because I was trying two different paths and testing out different answers. And seeing how different storylines worked as well. Got you! I love that. It's notable that these guys apparently don't realize they're exposing themselves when they take cover like that. Excuse me while I grab a drink there. And then it's also notable that you'll run into scenarios where they will actually be behind solid cover, but be standing upright and exposing themselves. It's like this dude. It's like, yeah, you think you're behind cover. You're broadsided for me to put bullets in you. Now, the SMG I'm currently using is not the one I like. There's a much better one that comes along later. And specifically, it's not the one I wanted from the previous game, the Casa Locust. But one of the things that was interesting is that while some of the stuff you had from the previous game did make the transfer, a lot of it had to be picked up later or purchased later in the game. Whoa, shield dudes. Grenades! It's like the fastest way to take out the shields is the grenades if you can get them. Only problem with it is that using the grenades against them is costly because you get a limited amount, and they don't always get refilled while you're, going around. Still, in a pinch, they're the best way to clear a room. Smoke grenade. Ah, look at that beautiful volumetric effect. You swear BioWare was just learning how that worked and wanted to show it off all the time. Oh, he's burned. Mega Punch. You do not mess with Shepard, or else you get Mega Decked in the face. And you can actually use the Mega Punch pretty frequently. You also have the regular, rifle bash and stuff, but the Mega Punch is like instantly fatal if it's a point blank range. And for those who don't use biotics, it actually winds up being even more effective because some of them have the Omni Blade, the knife that comes out of the Omni Tool device, and what winds up happening is the Omni Blade is, and depending upon which character, sometimes it's on fire, sometimes you have two of them. So, I mean, each character has their own unique high-power close combat weapon, and the more you're able to make use of it, it can quickly disable an enemy at close range and just give you the breathing room, especially if you have like a group of them clumped together. It allows you to like knock them all back, and then just while they're on the ground, spray them all down. And we're right about wrapping up with this session, and this yep, there's the archive. So, and then when we return, we'll be coming back for the first major conversation with this game's second big bad guy. See you then, folk.